Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another YouTube live stream, the morning show with Jamie, sponsored by E2T. It is 11:20, November 20th. Let's jump right into the market. See what we got going on. Hope you all slept well, that you are ready for another trading day. Hopefully, y'all made some money on yesterday. Last reported, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was down 0.28%. The S&P 500 was up 0.40%. NASDAQ was up the most, 1.04%. The Russell 2K was up 0.80%. And currently the VIX is up 1.53% at 16.60. For Europe, here's what we got going on. All green for Europe. Europe is all green. Now, we all know that everybody and their mama is waiting for NVIDIA. So for right now, everything is all green, okay? And European markets trade higher as traders assess simmering geopolitical tensions. Asia mixed overall with ASX 200, which is Australia. They're down 0.57%. The Nikkei is only down slightly, 0.16%. All right. And yeah, China is keeping their lending rates steady. In the pre-market, everything is up. Put that in quotations because it is up slightly. But of course, again, waiting for the NVIDIA results. So Dow futures is up 0.14%. S&P futures is up 0.04%. And the Nas futures is up 0.02%. Right? Make sure we take a look at earnings. Right. So today, market open this morning. NEO reported. Target as well. Zim, which is shipping in Israel. TJX, Wix, which is on the software side of tech. Dicom, Williams, Sonoma, Berry, Atrenew, and Canaan also reported this morning after close today. Of course, NVIDIA, Snowflake, Palo Alto's network. NVIDIA is on the hardware side of tech. Snowflake and Palo Alto's network. It would be on the non-hardware side, so I classify that as software. Of course, I know some of you are familiar with Jack in the Box. They report today as well as Duos Tech, also on the software side of tech. All right, tomorrow, Badu, before open, Pinduoduo. Some of you are familiar with the John Deere and the store BJ's, Warner Music Group, and Shoe Carnival. Some of you might be familiar with those as well. The leftover tech for the week after close is Elastic, Intuit. Both of those are on the software side. NetApp is on the hardware side. Gap and Ross, obviously those two are competitors in their space. I believe those are either under, if you are into sector ETFs, I believe these are either under consumer discretionary, which is XLY, or consumer staples, which is XLP. I always forget which one these two are under. I mean, consumer staples is something that you have to have. And I would imagine drawers and pants is a must. So I would think that they would be on the consumer staple side. All right, let's check out Mancini. Our Mancini numbers. The Mancini numbers for today. Yeah, give me 1 second, please. Make sure we got the right stuff pulled up here. All right, so the Mancini numbers are, yesterday SPX put in my core setup, a failed breakdown of the 5863 major level, triggering longs. Triggered longs. 59.34 was next, as posted, and we hit exact overnight. Plan today, let runners work until it ends. 59.20 is weak. 59.05 supports. Base out. Then 59.41, 59.49 plus is next. 59.05 must fail to dip. Dip, baby. All right. So 905 must fail to dip. Here's what we got going on. We're going to put this information on our charts in a second. I'm going to switch over really quick to look at the calendar. See what the calendar got to say. All right. 10 o'clock, FOMC member Bar speaks. This is a yellow folder. Okay. We got an orange folder at 10:30, crude oil inventories. At 11 o'clock, yellow folder, FOMC member Cook speaks. Right. 12:15, FOMC member Bowman speaks. So we have one orange folder. Now, well, we have one orange folder and a couple of these other yellow folders. But keep in mind, I will say this, and I don't like giving credence just to one stock, but there's so much anticipation on what NVIDIA is going to do that it would not surprise me if there's a lot of activity based on what different, you know, how you have like different analysts saying this or that. It wouldn't surprise earnings that there's some extra stuff happening that NVIDIA ain't even causing on their own, if that makes sense. So that was ForexFactory. We're over here on investing.com. We had some stuff being reported this morning. 1-star stuff with the NBA, mortgage. Okay, crude oil inventories over here is 3 stars. Makes sense because it was a 1-star on the other side. We have some 1 and 2 stars happening as well. Crude oil imports is a 1-star. EIA refinery crude runs week over week is 1 star. Cushing crude oil inventories is 2 stars. And then the rest of the 1 star is distillate fuel production, EIA weekly distillate stocks, gasoline production, heating oil stockpiles, and EIA weekly refinery utilization rates week over week. Gasoline inventories is also 1 star in that group. Cook speaking over here is 1 star. Two stars for, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, 2 stars for the 20-year bond auction. And FOMC member Bowman speaking is also 2 stars. That's at 12:15 for FOMC member Bowman and 1 o'clock for the 20-year bond auction. Cook speaking at 11 is a 1 star. All right. So we still got some stuff sprinkled about in the group. Okay. Let's put some of our Mancini numbers on our charts. If you got anything that you would like for us to take a look at, please do. There's the bell. Oh, by the way, let's talk about tech, baby. Check this out. So be on the lookout because I know some of us trade Google, the Department of Justice. The Department of Justice, and we talked about this at some point in the past. The Department of Justice is taking their sites, setting their sights on Google. Specifically, they are taking aim at Chrome. Most of us have heard of Chrome. The issue is what is normally the issue when it comes to the Department of Justice. They feel like Google has got too big, blah, 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 blah. They're making too much money. Now, the reason why that's significant is, of course, you know, Google also owns YouTube. So they work in conjunction in terms of data. Well, guess who else might be impacted by that? And this will be at the beginning of 2025. So the Department of Justice is coming up with these different ways that Google can, I guess, move forward. One of those ways is probably spinning off Chrome as its own business. But another way of doing that is disconnecting Google from the Apple ecosystem. Well, what does that mean? Okie dokie. Well, Google pays Apple billions of dollars to be the first, or shall I say, well, you can say the first and or primary, the primary search for Safari, which means if they decide that Google has to be disconnected from Safari, Apple is going to lose billions. You can't tell me that's not going to be reflected in the chart somehow, because now if you know Apple, you know that Apple does more than just iPad, iMacs, all that other stuff. They do more than just hardware. They do a lot of software related stuff as well. The App Store is a consistent moneymaker for them. But somewhere out here in the future, so basically this represents the future. Out here in the future, this is Apple. Out here in the future, we're going to want to be paying attention to what happens in January and be aware of that information, because, yeah, that is something that could affect both of them. Obviously, that would be a loss of billions for Google, but that would also, if they disconnected from Chrome, if they disconnected from Safari, that could be a loss of billions also for Apple. So that's definitely something we want to keep in mind. All right. Somebody had requested Google anyway. So since we're here, let's take a look. I'm seeing this is the buyer zone down here. Leg in, base, leg out. This is a strong leg out too. And then leg in, base, leg out for the seller zone. I would consider this to be in the middle. So there's no reason why. Obviously, I don't get in right now. But if we just looking at numbers, I don't know when did Google already have earnings? Google has a dividend coming up on December 9th. So that is something to be aware of. Premiums may be a tad bit inflated. So be on the lookout for that. I'm seeing 2.5 spreads right now. For 85% out the money, but we're very early in today's market, so I wouldn't be messing around for another hour before I started looking. But I'll be checking these premiums just to see about an hour. But in terms of the numbers that I'm seeing, I only see you have to be at 76% out the money right now, so that's why I would leave it alone. But I would definitely be watching it, especially with that news, because that's going to be an ongoing thing. We did talk about that in the past, that Department of Justice side, and you probably already know when you're dealing with anything government related, it takes forever to clear red tape and all this other stuff. So that information is coming back around again. All right, let's put our Mancini numbers on the chat. Okay. So this has already happened. It has been eating into a gap. Yesterday's close was 59.15. Today's open was 59.14. Not much of a gap down. All right. So our Mancini numbers, by the way, I'm trying to make it more of a habit to include XSP. I personally do not trade. I technically don't regularly trade SPX, but I've been seeing opportunities lately to have had me trading SPX. I prefer Russell. I don't trade XSP either, but I am trying to make it a habit of adding those, since traditionally we do add in XSP. So 590 at the top and 594 at the bottom, or actually I'm saying that the wrong way. 594 will be at the top and 590 will be at the bottom. But that's the range, 590, 594. Let's look at 59.20. See what we got here. So we got 59.20. Right? We want to go 59.41 and 59.49. Right? 59.41. 59.49. Okay. Then if it all goes down, 59 must fail in order to dip. 59.05 must fail in order to dip. Let's do it like that. Matter of fact, let's do it like this. It's the point that we want to make sure we're aware of. Right? And this is what I usually call a linchpin. So we're going to need that. Now, as you can see, it's already driving itself past that 59.05. So we will definitely come back and take a look at that. Just to see, ain't nothing wrong with looking, baby. All right. All right. Keep in mind that there is a gap that has been above SPX since November 14th. Seller's gap, it gapped down. The last time it came over here was yesterday. So it has been under this gap for a while. That is something for us to also keep an eye on. I'm going to put this to mark the gap, even though it hasn't been 15 minutes. I'm just going to put it in the area so I won't forget it. And this previous day low was from 2 days ago, so please ignore that. All right. And then SPX is cash settled. It is cash settled. This is America. How can you get too big? This is America. How can you get too big in capitalism? Sound like somebody did not grease the right hand. That is funny. That is funny, ladies. First of all, good morning, everybody. I'm sorry. I like to jump right in and get the party started. Ward, Lady T, Lisa Henry, Nori. Hello, Tamar. Raymond. Good morning, Alyssa. Good morning, people. Nori, yes, SPX is cash settled. To what Lady T said, let me say it this way. I stand firm on my assertion that it is 100% disingenuous. I believe it's 100% disingenuous for anybody that's lived or grown up in America to raise a child and tell them to be the best that they can be without forgetting to tell them just because you're the best don't mean that somebody else ain't gonna have a problem with it. You can be the best, be the best you can be, but just know, you being the best could also mean you're gonna be a target. And you can say that in business, you can say that in sports. You can say the same thing in sports, right? Michael Jordan was a target. He wasn't. I mean, you know, may not have been as big a target when he first came into that league. After the first 3 championships, oh, bruh, they trying to take you down, Chief. You can put that. You can put that in any context. Once you get to a certain point, you being the best means you are a problem, and there's no different in business. So, while I do think it's unfair, I'm just marking the weak lows in the previous day information right there, so I'll know what it is on the chart. So it's the same in business, man. Everybody that's considered the best got a target on them. That's the way it works. But I do think there's, you know, a lot of what I would consider to be unnecessary hating on, you know, on the tech stocks. And I know it's like, oh, okay, it's coming from a dude that's got a tech background. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you're right. You're right. I ain't gonna deny it. You're right. But that don't mean I'm wrong. But you're right. Coming from me, yeah. I'm gonna see a conspiracy. Right. But some of that stuff is, you know, they had to stop Microsoft from Microsoft buying too many companies. Dude, that's what you're supposed to do. What you're supposed to do? You're supposed to buy your competition so you can be number one. Shoot, Highlander was killing everybody. You can be the only one. All right. Here's Rut. And this is Rut. We're going to do a 15-minute chart on this one. Things of you who trade Rut. We're going to do the same thing. Just put a line here to get this party started. A little bit of a gap down, just like SPX. And then we're going to move on over to Triple Q. Triple Q is requested. Right. Put them in the mix. Gonna when we look at Triple Q, as a matter of fact, probably would be wise. Let me see. I will say this about SPX. This is on the daily. So this is the gap for SPX. This is the daily. These are the Mancini numbers, previous day high low. Just excuse all. Actually, I'll just switch this to a different chart so y'all won't be so this is the gap that I was referring to earlier. This was a previous high point that it gapped up past. Honestly, the way things are looking with all this anticipation for Nvidia, if it does really well, do not be surprised if this gaps back up over this over this gap. All right, do not be surprised if that happens. Okay, the gaps back up over this gap. You know, obviously it can always go this way and drop, and probably would more than likely drop into this gap. But the fact that we have these buyers sitting here pushing this up pretty strong, to get into that gap would take some force to push that past there. So that's something to be aware of for us as we trade, right? Triple Q was requested. So let's take a look-see at Triple Q. Because Triple Q is in the tech sector, it is going to probably look similar to SPX, because there are some of the same strong stocks in there. Right? I'll go right up here and move that down to right there. So SPX is also sitting in between. Current price is also sitting in between a gap. It's like the other one was. Now for this one, do a similar thing. Actually, we can do is just move these lines around first. So here we go for our, I would just use this as a buyer zone, leg in, base, leg out. And up here, use that as a seller zone. So this will be the leg in. I will have these four in the base, and then this as a leg out. Right now, so these candles here, bearish, white candles are bearish on this chart. All right, so this price is dropping. It's too early. Triple Q give us, I don't know if somebody was looking for 0 DTE. I will still be waiting to get in till some of this settles. And I'm putting the word settle in quotations. For this to be early in the market, this is one spread, $100 collateral. That would be $20 collected on $100 collateral. So that's 20%, 20%. Same thing, that's on the put side. Same thing on the call side. The number that I was at was, I think I was at 495, 494 on that side, 507, 508 on this side. Just keep in mind, this is going to be happening. And I would even venture to say that it would not surprise me if towards the end of the day, this starts pushing up. People smoke opium, right? So they just, they hoping that NVIDIA gives good numbers, et cetera, et cetera. So just saying. Right? I see TGT, and we'll look at TGT. Somebody was mentioning that TGT was on the struggle bus, which is if you are looking from earlier, TGT is Target. Target. Right, so whoa, woo, God, dog, what happened? Off target, money. That's what that means. Him down. Necesito ayuda. Oh my God. This is not, no, this is no bueno. Yeah, man. Target got toe up, pimp. All right, close 156. Man, my goodness. These cats done lost all they bows and arrows. Man. Ah, send up a prayer for these jokers. This is great. I don't even think, I don't even trade Target, but I don't think I was expecting that type of drop. And I wasn't expecting that type of drop in Target because Walmart apparently did well on their last earnings, right? I mean, that space, their competitors in the same space. I wouldn't go so far, I don't know if they trade together or not, but man, okay. Some of y'all who trade Walmart and or Target, if you want to drop a message in there, let us know what the dealings is. I mean, I would imagine they probably missed their estimates, but yeah. Hold Target. That's serious right there, Chief. Serious right there. All right. So the close of this is 156. Is that right? The close of this is 156. No, shut up. There you go. All right. So you know what this means. If you trade target, that means that this gap is a seller's gap. Sellers push this down and definitively push that down. So as this continues to try to break through there, you can expect that there may be some bouncing off of this for a while. Right, 151 down to 128. That is woo. That is serious. Janae says that Target cut its full year profit guidance. Got you. Now, see, thank you for bringing that up, Janae. So that's what I was talking about for NVIDIA. The people, and this is why I was saying people got to be careful with NVIDIA, because I've seen this before with NVIDIA where they smashed earnings out the ballpark. I mean, crushed it. But their forward guidance was lower and the stock dropped. And so with this latest reporting, I was saying that I was waiting to see if the same thing could happen. So everybody's expecting the NVIDIA to go up. But I'm like, okay, that sounds good. But if they, if they have lower guidance moving forward, that might not go the way we might think it would be going. Right? I consider this to be in the seller zone. And I will put this somewhere in there. Leg in, 3 in the base, leg out here. So this is in the seller zone. So I'm saying all that to say, don't jump the gun and assume that it's going to be that NVIDIA will be going up. But again, because it's at all-time highs, I would also say good earnings could make this gap up. So that's why I was saying for SPX, it wouldn't be a surprise to see it gap up past this because it's at an all-time high. Right? That definitely is some. Now the problem, I shouldn't use the word problem. I use the word situation. The situation with NVIDIA is that it kind of is a victim of its own success at this point. And what I mean is when you start looking at NVIDIA and their growth month over month, year over year, that type of thing, you're not going to be able to sustain that type of growth forever. Right? You're not going to be able, I'm not saying that I'm not saying they can't grow, but what I'm saying is, let's say year over year they grew, we'll just grab a number, 60% year over year, let's say. Okay, well, people going to be expecting that same type of growth or more. The next time you go to report, oh, year over year it's done this, month over month it's done this. Man, that ain't sustainable forever. In other words, somebody gonna be disappointed. This is the monthly chart. This is NVIDIA's monthly chart. Look at this run up. Now, there have been some pullbacks in here, but month over month. Now, this is going to have to find a seller level at some point, right? When it finds this level, what is it going to do? It's going to do exactly what this did. When it found this level, it has to drop back. That's how we know that it found this level. So this is going to have to retreat at some point. We don't know when, but Be careful. It's all the brothers saying. Be careful. Guard your coins. Right? Guard your coins. I'm not going to even look at the options chain because I ain't even messing around with NVIDIA at all whatsoever. Not right now. All right. So, dude. So Netflix is still at all-time highs. And I recently saw where somebody gave Netflix a price target of, I believe, $1,100. And while all that is happening, people are wondering when Netflix is going to do some type of, if Netflix is going to do, I should be saying if, Netflix is going to do some type of stock split. I haven't heard anything. Personally, I don't think they should, but that's just me. This is another case of finding a seller's level. There was even a gap right here. Although it is not like super clear. There's one there. So this is at all-time highs. I shouldn't say it's not super clear. I should say it's not one where you can see it immediately. You may have to zoom in to see it, but it's the buyer's gap. Push it up. It could very well push back into that gap soon. But this is one of those that I will be doing a put credit spread on. Somebody was asking why did it go up that high? Okay, so the Tyson fight, I didn't watch the fight. Well, a lot of y'all that tuned in said the same thing. It's like I tuned in, but I didn't get to watch the fight. So, regardless of the fact that Netflix had trouble with the broadcast, the fact of the matter is, and I mentioned this before, they had trouble with the broadcast, but at the end of the day, they saw that they can draw those type of numbers. All you got to do is have, all you got to do is have the right reason for people to tune in. This is not the first time that Netflix had issues with some type of broadcast. Now, again, I'm on the put credit spread side of Netflix. We're looking at this Friday for a possible expiration, and I'm just looking at the numbers just to see. This was 75% out the money or so for a put credit spread. That would be, $84, $92 on 5 spread. That's $500 of collateral. Now, what I just showed you is where Alyssa would start. Let me show you where I would start. I'm going closer to 80% of the money. Okay. So we're looking at only $70. But it's a little bit safer, $70. Okay. All right. So that will be putting me at 855. So I'll be in here. And 55. And about right here. You can probably zoom. We literally could. 55 hour. Wouldn't be surprised if we found some type of formation at 855. Just looking to see. There may not be one. There'll be C. But in terms of the option chain, that's what I'm seeing. 855. So I would definitely be under there. Sellers are trying to do their thing. Help them find a level. Let's go to one more. Let's do SPY first. We don't do all the same stuff on SPY. I'm really doing SPY first. So this, of course, looks the same as SPX. And the only thing that has happened is this. So we can account for that. Right? And This would, I don't know if most people would consider this a buyer zone formation because this middle candle is so high up in the mix. And when I'm not sure, I just make the lines gray. That lets me know on this chart that something could be happening in here. I'm not sure what. I know there's buyers down here, but I don't know if I consider that a buyer's formation, a quote unquote traditional buyer's formation. Some people like for that turnaround candle to be lower, closer to the bottom. Some people, you know, as long as it's not the same length overall, I don't know, but I'll just mark it as something to keep an eye on the SPY chart. Okay, but either way, it's still sandwich in between two gaps, right? Right. I'm going to zoom in to the 15-minute. Okay, now Mancini numbers. So this happens to be the first candle, 15-minute. If you trade the 15-minute breakout, here's what's happening. It has broken out, and now it looks like it is trying to retest to see what the deal is. All right. And not only did it retest, but it looks like the buyers and the sellers are having a fight. Okay. They boxing it out. Buyers are trying to win that one. Right. So this last candle was a down candle. Looks like this one is trying to push down. We'll see. Because I'm nosy, I always like to check out what the moving averages. Anybody know how to stop this from happening on Thinkorswim? Always putting in, no matter how many times I reset this to 0 bars, this thing always automatically takes off. So this is the 15-minute chart. These moving averages. This is the 200. The red one is the 200. This green one is the 10. The yellow one is 20. This almost brown looking one is, I believe, 30, and this is 50. All right. So all these moving averages are above current price on the 15-minute chart. So that will lead me to believe something's to be bearish on this. That does not mean the price won't push up and try to push through there, but as of right now, that's what I'm seeing on SPX. It would not surprise me if Russell is already out of its 15-minute. Ooh, it's not. Usually it's out of its 15-minute area before. But it also has the majority of the moving averages. All the moving averages look to be above current price right now as well. All right. I do better when the market is bearish. I can't speak for nobody else. I wouldn't consider myself to be have bearish sentiment, but I can say when the market starts dropping, I definitely get excited and get ready to make some money, or at least try to. That's when I see and I'm in my, when I'm talking, I'm in my sim. When I'm talking crazy, but I test everything in the sim first. As soon as I see that drop, I'm like, uh-oh. Let me go see what we can make happen. All right. So this is breaking out of its 15-minute right now, experiencing the same type of seller push down as we saw in SPX. Now, well, I was gonna say it is 10:06. One theory is that you don't get in until the candle closes. I guess I look at it like, well, I don't disagree with it, but I do think if you have paralysis by analysis, you'll never get in, waiting for every single candle to close. There's got to be something definitive that says, all right, player, you're going to have to go ahead and make a move. In this case, though, I like to wait until I see a definitive enough push out. Either a strong candle or this candle, and then the next one retest and pushes off of there. One of those two. But I definitely do take into account the candle closing just to be on the safe side. Janae says, why is the market falling? I don't know. Why is the market falling? Nvidia, Netflix, SPX, Triple Q. Well, I'm not exactly sure of that, but I can say what wouldn't surprise me is if the market is falling earlier in the, just so that when Nvidia reports this evening, it can run up like crazy. You know what I'm saying? Almost like, oh man, the market is going to drop temporarily. And then it's going to look like, it's going to look like the heavens parted tomorrow, because we see that to me, we see that sometimes with the, the red folders when it comes to, let's say, Powell or some of the, CPI, unemployment. You might see the market drop down a little bit, then it's good news. Then it's like, oh, that's not as bad as we thought. I think it could very well be anticipation of what the information is going to be for. It may not be that at all, but that's what I would guess. Okay, so we got SPX and Russell both at least breaking out to a certain degree. All right. Right. Let's go to our announcements. The Option Seller Zone membership is available. Learn to trade profit the seller's way. The supportive community, profitable strategies for less screen time, daily profit to grow your account, trading and support. Go to educator to trader, educator, the number 2, trader.com. You will see the membership. I will say this. One of the things that I would say the membership is good for is being able to have an extra set of eyes on your trade. Because when I first started trading, for example, I started off a buyer. When I first started selling, I was not profitable. I was doing everything right. All my steps I was doing correctly, but I was new to selling. So it turned out I was putting in debit spreads, not credit spreads. So if I wouldn't have, even though, it's one thing to watch the training, it's a whole nother thing to start, putting it in live. I thought I was doing it right in my sim, and I very well could have been doing it right in my sim. Just, when you get the jitters when you do it live. But anyway, by being able to post a screenshot into the group, somebody was able to say, hey, you're doing debit spreads. So doing it on my own, I wouldn't have had that extra set of eyes to be able to help. So I could definitely say it has helped me from that standpoint. This is saying the stock futures tick higher as Wall Street gears up for Nvidia's quarterly result. So I don't know what the heck going on. We're not seeing what they seeing. Let me look at the US numbers. So we got everybody down by a significant. This is S&P 500 is down 0.85%. NASDAQ is down 1.17%. The VIX is up, man, 14.13% to 1866. That's crazy. I know it ain't from no Target, because Target ain't got that kind of sway. So whatever's going on is something we probably gonna read about either later today or tomorrow Would not surprise me at all, because it's kind of weird to see this. All right. Our E2T daily declaration. By faith, I am a successful trader. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I made smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolios. Money likes me because money is comfortable around me. It is drawn to me. E2T daily prayer, Lord, give us wisdom and knowledge for our trades today. Help us to make smart and lucrative decisions for our portfolios. Tomorrow is our next chart and trade session, session 2, 8:15 p.m. VIP session. That's 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You heard me. Eastern Standard Time. So if you are a part of our chart and trade, make sure you are aware of that. Okay. All righty. Time to release you all into the trading wild. Just know we still got orange folder coming up, and we still haven't figured out what all this deal is with the market dropping. Seemed kind of weird, right? I don't know what the heck any of this is about. So we'll see. But if y'all have any information, any news that you can drop into the Telegram, let us know so we can update our information. All right. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We truly appreciate you. I am Jamie Irvin with the E2T Morning Show. You all have a great trading day. Let us know if you need something. Tag us in Telegram, or you can leave a message in our comment box. Thank you so much. Stay green and get this money.